Hey everyone, it's Austin and welcome back to the channel. It's day 204 on my journey to 2000 where I'll be chessing it up every single day until I get there. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, be a part of the journey, support me. And with that being said, let's swap the scene, let's flip on some tunes, and into the 10-minute pool we go. So after yesterday's loss and win, we have a rating of 1808. And against the Queen's Gambit, I played the Slav. And against Knight F3 here, I play the semi-Slav. And I've pretty much predominantly played against Bishop G5. Now this is the main line. And honestly, I have the least experience in the main line. But I know that after he moves his bishop, I'm supposed to take, so that way he has to waste a tempo, and then I gain a tempo with b5, and that allows me to fianchetto my queenside bishop. And basically my goals from here are to play bishop e7, castles, and break with c5 as soon as possible, and develop an attack. e4 is a move, absolutely. I'm not super concerned with e5 because my knight can go in to the center. Or am I concerned about it? So let's say here, okay. Bishop e7, e5, knight e5, knight e5, c takes d5. The problem with that is my pawn hangs on b5. So I can't quite do that. Let's say bishop e7, e5, knight g4. There's no threat if he just plays h3. Like, I have to go back to h6, and then bishop takes h6, g takes h6, and that's not very good either. So honestly, I think that h6 might be a good move here to solidify the b pawn. a6 to solidify the b pawn. What else could we do? Free up a square for my knight to move backwards. Doesn't seem like a great way to do that. I think we play a6 and we look at the opening explorer after the game, because I know that this is like the main idea, but the semi-Slav is something that I've picked up fairly recently, and I'm not nearly as familiar with it as my other openings. I'm trying to practice my calculations and how I calculate things, so I'm trying not to draw arrows. So I hope that you guys can understand what I'm saying when I'm saying those moves. Looks like he's disconnected. Frankly, in a 10-minute game, I don't think that I have time to sit and explain or sit and draw the arrows. It's going to take me too long. But I'm happy to discuss that in the analysis portion. And as always, like, if you guys have any questions about what I'm thinking or pointing out flaws in my thinking, I always appreciate that in the comments. Yeah, so I think this. But I really hate it, because if he does take, then it's kind of just worse for me. But I've kind of boxed myself into playing this, I feel. It removes my ability to break with c5. My light square bishop stays sad. Perhaps I can take like this. So knight e5, knight e5, e takes d5. Takes d5, castles, bishop e7, rook e1, rook e1. I mean, it seems okay. Seems okay. Still giving potential to play c5 later. It keeps the game more interesting. I would worry that there's at least dynamics with E takes D5. With C takes D5, I think that it's just slightly better for him, plain and simple. So I think let's do this. Bishop G5, Bishop E7 is already my idea. Okay. Does he want to come here, maybe? This? Okay. So I kind of want to go here to push C. I don't want to castle yet. I want to remain flexible. He's made a very clear idea that that's what he wants to do. So I'm not sure what he's going to do here. I probably should have thought longer in that position, but I'm already down on the clock. Okay, I really like this move from my opponent. Okay. So C5, A takes B5, A takes B5. Bishop B5, C, CD4, knight D4, knight E5. I'm sacking a pawn. If then rook ever takes on A8, bishop takes is fine. Maybe now I should castle. No, I think that C5 and sacking a pawn seems like it brings good long-term prospects for me. I could just be completely misevaluating the position, which is not outside of the norm for me. I wonder if... No, I don't think so. I was wondering if after A takes B, we play C4. But I feel like that just doesn't do anything for me. His bishop can go back to C2, or it can go to F5. And frankly, I think his bishop is better in both of those places than it is in its current position. So A takes B, AB5, AB5, bishop E5. I feel like I'm winning a pawn back in the center of the board. If he takes, I think that's a big mistake. If he plays queen over, I'm just going to castle. I'm not entirely sure what he's thinking about. If he plays a passive move, I play C4. Or maybe even better, yeah. Okay, well that's a problem, isn't it? Now I can't castle. And now it remains pinned. So I think I have to go here to go here. I don't think that works. The reason I couldn't take with the queen and it being good before was because his knight could come back to block, or his bishop could come to e3. Like, the reason why it's not good to play it here is because he has this defending this, or he has this, or it's just defended in general. I didn't even see that, but this position is already +3 for him. I mean, you could tell that I was definitely on the back foot there. And unfortunately, he just blundered. Wow. Yeah, so I had 2 blunders and a miss. Yeah, it's not very good from me. But let's yeah, so a6. Like, the second that I became unfamiliar is where I slipped. So let's look at the opening explorer, and yeah, b4 is by and large the move here. And let's go through the top engine, or the top variation, like what's most popular. So knight a4, c5, converging on the e4 pawn, e5 now, knight d5, castles. This line is scoring very well for white. C takes, rook e1, g6, bishop g5, queen a5. I mean, this is pretty much just terrible for black. Oh, this is so cool to look at the side. And so we have some of these games that, you know, it says notable games in this position. We have Alexander Moryevsky. It's not showing the full name, so I don't know. Versus Vishwanathan Anand. Vishy playing with black here and ultimately losing. Second notable game, Shakhriyar Mamedyarov versus Boris Gelfand, ending in a draw. Magnus Carlsen versus Sergei Karyakin in 2007, where Sergei ended up winning. Let's look at this game. So Magnus proceeds with bishop d2, Karyakin rook c8, hitting the queen. Always sack the exchange. Converging in the center. Magnus allows it. The idea is... What is the idea? If you take on e5, then what? You can't take on a4, because then the queen takes c7. So, is there a way that I can turn on the analysis? No, not so easy. Well, that's kind of annoying. I feel like there has to be a way that I should be able to turn on the analysis, but in any case, that didn't happen. Wow. Always play king e7. Wow. Black just solid as a rock. Oh, wow. What a beaut. Okay, well, let's get back into my game, because a6 is a blunder. because e5, c takes was better. c5 right away was better. Queen b6 made sense because I thought that I reinforced the b pawn pretty well. Ultimately, the b pawn was what ended up falling. This is just a blunder. Queen here. Yeah, I was expecting castling, following with rook c1, and I would have considered resigning here, to be honest with you. But this is a miss because I had the opportunity to castle. How? Bishop takes. Removing the defender. So if you go here, then I'm going to guess this. No, this wins your rook. And we don't care about that silly knight that we lost anymore. That's why I'm having fun playing the semi-Slav. It's very double-edged, and it's very simple to fall into things like this. And this is still +1, guys. Like he had no business resigning here. He has a rook, or sorry, he has a pawn for the knight, but my king is weak. He can play rookie 1 here. Yeah, this is the top engine move by a mile, and my king is stuck in the middle of the board. I cannot castle, otherwise everything's going to start falling off. It's giving queen g6, queen d4, king f8. I was about to say king f7 is nuts. +3. f4 check. Can't block. Yeah, knight f6 looks pretty solid. But I'd be worried about this pawn in the long run. So that's why queen f6 is best. If you can get the queens off, like, for example. Yeah, this is just -3.5. Like, if you can get the queens off, it's just over. But, wow. Okay, so that was... So I'm happy that I was booked up enough to get to this point. You know, that's 9 moves of theory. It's definitely not my best. But b4, we're going to go through it again so I can help solidify it in my mind. Knight a4, c5. Wow, Karyakin really likes playing this game. Alexei Shirov, Anand, Shirov, Gelfand, Topolov, Jan Nepomniachtchi, like, Kramnik drew this game against Artur Yusupov. Wow. Big names in my Explore tab. I love looking at that stuff. I've really enjoyed, as I've matured in my chess study, I've been watching a lot of lectures on some of these like famous players from the past, hearing about, you know, the type of people that they are, the types of styles that they play, and those kinds of things. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, it looks like a big divergence here is also knight takes c5. So we should probably analyze this a little bit. Knight takes, d takes, bishop takes. And yeah, this just feels very comfortable for black. Engine's giving zeros. Castles, h6s. Let's think about that for a second. I feel like that kind of makes sense. You don't want to have to come back with your bishop to e7. Yeah, helping to strengthen the dark squares around your king, so that way you can utilize your dark square bishop for other more meaningful tasks. Knight e2, same kind of maneuver that we saw in the Magnus game. Castles, knight e4, bishop d4. Okay, sure, that's enough. Let's go back. So Let's look at D takes. Almost as popular as knight takes. D takes. Knight takes. Bishop b5 and knight c5 are the only moves played here. Bishop b5 seems trickier. We just play knight d7. Okay. Knight d7, bishop g5, queen a5. Okay, sure. So let's, after knight takes, it's obviously bishop takes. And look at D's bishops, baby. That's the kind of position that I want in a semi-Slav. So, you know, let's hope that next time we play this position, I'm not going to look at the side of the screen. I'm going to flip back to analysis. After e4, let's play b4, and after knight a4, let's play c5. And after e5, knight d5, let's hope that the opponent takes on c5, because then we know exactly what we're doing. And this position looks like a lot of fun to play. This position looks like a lot of fun to play. Okay, so anyway, let's now start getting into the meat and potatoes of the game, I guess. So we already understand queen b6 being better than c7. I just liked the additional pressure on the e5 pawn, but that ended up being not as helpful. I was considering this move. B takes, rook takes, bishop takes. And where does he go? Wow, bishop b1. Best move. Let's hit the pawn. Yeah, bishop c3 is an ugly move, but it feels the best. Defending the pawn, blockading c3. This bishop is very stupid now. So, that's why it's +2. So this is actually a mistake. Knight g5 was better. So let's look at his mistakes as well. So we have knight e5 here. D e5, queen e5, bishop e3. This doesn't seem so bad. Bishop e3, if I can play the correct move. Now it's bishop takes, h takes, d4. I mean, it's giving +3, but this does not seem so bad. And then this check comes with a cold drink of water. Active king for the endgame. King of fate is better. Okay, so, you know, he missed out without playing knight g5 there. Obviously, I did not consider that move. This is a blunder because I missed queen a4. Frankly, I just completely missed it. I guess I wasn't that concerned about it because I figured I could always castle to defend the bishop. You know, forgetting that this comes with pressure on the d7 knight. And this definitely felt like a mistake. It felt like you needed to keep adding pressure here. Like I said, castling. So this is a miss because we have cool move. If I can remember correctly, yeah. That's a cool move. Never resign. I mean, I don't know why you would resign this position. I think this is very silly to resign. I'm sure he's kind of kicking himself now that he sees that it's +1. But anyway, I guess it's kind of hard psychologically losing a piece like that. Well, if you made it this far in the video, guys, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the way that I calculated things in today's game. I hope that you enjoyed, well, as inaccurate as it was, regardless. I hope that you learned something in the semi-Slav, because I know that I did, against the main line. I hope that you enjoyed the deeper analysis into the opening and the parts of the middle game that we didn't understand, at least while we were playing the game. And yeah, we're at a new peak, 1815. Sky's the limit. I think there's no reason, if I don't keep on the track that I'm on, that I can't hit 2000 by the end of the calendar year. So I talked with a couple people about it, and that's my goal. So I hope that you guys stick around for that. And I do have plans for the channel after I hit 2000. So, you know, I hope that you guys are learning as much as I am, enjoying this as much as I am, and thank you for all your support. I'll see you tomorrow.